Thanks for visiting Patient Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for April 30th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We maintain a storefront on Amazon. Looking at that surface front again, for April 30th, we have high pressure dominating the west and north, but there is a low pressure center hanging over New England with a cold front swinging out into the Atlantic but moving back inland about Atlanta, swinging along the Gulf to New Orleans, all the way back over to San Antonio, and swinging back north all the way up to Denver. Looking at our vitality index, which is those areas where we think that individual weather elements will have an impact on human health, you can see that we have a host of activity going on here in the Four Corners, and that's because that front is swinging back up to Denver. We have a lot of activity along the Gulf and a significant area of activity along and up and down the eastern seaboard, all the way from Maine through the Appalachians down to Georgia. Looking at pressure change doesn't look too significant, but still we have falling pressure here across southern Arizona into very much southwestern New Mexico. We also have some falling pressure still lingering in New England, but mostly coastal Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. We have rising pressure across the Ohio Valley from Ohio through Pennsylvania down into northern Virginia and sticking a little bit up into northwestern New York. Looking at temperature change, again, that is focusing once again back on that frontal position where we have some post-frontal cooling stretching behind on the backside of the Appalachians, down a little bit through the Gulf states, and then rather significant cooling down here in southern Arizona and New Mexico. The dew point temperature map looks a lot more significant with falling dew points here along the frontal area that will be clearing, but rising dew points back here in the Four Corners. And the vapor pressure map confirms the same thing. Hopefully there was enough moisture falling in the south and southeast that this drying out won't be that significant, but we do have moisture swinging back up into the Four Corners. Good news here is that the instability, the showers, the thunder showers, and some severe weather is at least moving a little bit further east and closer to the Gulf, although it has some very interesting activity here in Georgia and Alabama, but most of the activity now is holding about the Gulf. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, it's a more significant map where we have the stresses of migraine here along southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, but swinging up into eastern New Mexico and eastern Colorado. But a really significant area of migraine stresses from Oklahoma into Texas, across Louisiana and Arkansas, and then everywhere across the south all the way through Georgia, and then up the Atlantic all the way from Georgia into New York, and picking up portions of the Ohio Valley, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and the westernmost sections of New England. Note that we'll have that risk of asthma and arthritis here on the shorelines of New England from Connecticut, eastern Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. And then going west, we have a risk of asthma and arthritis from southern Arizona across and up California into Oregon and Washington, across northern Idaho into northern Montana. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, tell us where.